Hey everybody, One Wisdom here. We just unboxed LightCore Drobot. Reason I kind of came in now to unbox them, I'm at a point in the playthrough where I can, and more importantly, been getting a lot of questions about one in particular heroic challenge. That, of course, being Drobots. Obviously, Series 2 Drobot is not out just yet. The good news is LightCore Drobot is. That said, here's kind of a good look at the packaging. You kind of see his attack mode up there on the top box art. Again, the LightCore are going to have this holographic ring around the entire perimeter of the front packaging. Also, you'll see the Prism Break guy here with LightCore. I think a lot of people still kind of unaware, what exactly they are. That said, you can also see the holographic card in the background. But this works in Giants. That's where you get your special, flash bomb effect. In Skylanders, Spyro's Adventure, Drobot will show up and register. You can actually play him. However, you don't have the LightCore effect. I think that's why they opted to kind of indicate incompatible. But, if for some reason your Drobot broke or you lost it, you can pick up LightCore Drobot now and actually play him in Spyro's Adventure as well. You'll just simply like some of the new stuff. That said, here's another look at the packaging before we cut into it. We will spin it around. Promo here for the tech element. You see Sprocket, LightCore Drobot, Drill Sergeant, and Trigger Happy, which interestingly enough they're all available as of right now. There's the little box art for Drobot kind of when he's flying. Since he is LightCore, you get the LightCore power. Obviously he's going to light up on the portal. That's kind of the draw for a lot of people. Power wise, the only real benefit here for a LightCore character is the flash bomb effect. Basically, that happens, say you're in a chompy pit and you lose sunburn or something, you can come in and throw Drobot on, and there's basically just a ring of light that radiates out, basically decimates pretty much everything on the screen. I've had a couple instances playing around with Jetvac and Prism Break, just testing it out. There might be like 8 or 10 enemies and 6 or 7 crates. It'll break 90% of them. Not quite sure if that's radius limitations or what, but nonetheless it does come in helpful if you find yourself in a bind. Before I go any further, mine, I got it from toysrus.com, and I pre-ordered probably over a month before the game even came out. At the time I thought they'd be hard to come by. Retail is $11.99. That's what I paid. That's what they still go for. In all honesty, the LightCores that are currently available, basically Prism Break, Eruptor that you see back there, Drobot, Prism Break, and then Jetvac. Pretty easy to find all of them as of right now, with the exception of LightCore Jetvac. He's still kind of relatively hard to come by. But these early three, Eruptor, Drobot, Prism Break, really don't have any trouble tracking them down. That said, we will come in now, try to free him from his packaging. And basically now, since I've got him unboxed, obviously you can play him through the packaging, but what I want to do is just kind of introduce him into the gameplay, do his heroic challenge, that way I can better answer people's questions. Real easy to get him out. Here's the instructions we don't care about. This time, unlike Eruptor that we just unboxed, there's actually a strip of adhesive here. The Eruptor packaging did not have that. You can kind of see where my finger's sticking to it. This is just paper, but down here is kind of your adhesive. Interesting how they do that. Sort of varies from time to time. And again, both of these were pre-orders well before the game came out. Nonetheless, pull that down. Best advice I can give you, anytime you're messing with a Giant or a LightCore Skylander, go ahead, free the back, and then come in and try to pick them up from the base. You can kind of see the gears for tech element. Came out real easy. There's been a lot of people that have issues where the LightCore will actually break on them. This particularly tends to be mainly with the Giants, but I've had a few people tell me LightCores did it to them. Number one, always check them out at the store if you get them in person. That way you're not going to be buying a defect. And then mainly, when you unbox them, just exercise a little more caution. That said, there's a quick look at Drobots, since we got them right here in front of the camera. we'll go ahead and do his stats and then the story and show how he lights up for you. But what you get, obviously, is a figure of Drobots, and then we get the collector card, if you will. Behind that, we get the sticker sheet. Kind of matches as box art. And then you get LightCore Drobot, the QR code, and below that is the web code for Spyro's universe. Note, the collector cards are actually holographic. Pretty cool. They do distinguish themselves very easily from the other cards. Don't think I've ever mentioned it, but the back is standard. Looks just like any other card. That said, his power or strength, if you can see that, is 65 of 150. Defense or armor, 80 of 150. Speed or agility, 65 of 150. And luck, 70 of 150. Again, the card stats don't necessarily relate to the game, but they send the cards, so I cover them. On the blog, once I've introduced them, I'll have it updated. Get his real stats. I'll also have a post eventually that kind of gives you everything you want to know on him. That said, Drobot does have an interesting story. He is kind of a combination, robot and dragon. I think that's why so many people relate to him and like him. Kind of covers, two interesting aspects there. But dragons in general are, pretty smart, at least in terms of Skylanders. That said, however, Drobot is probably the smartest dragon they've ever come across. He was born in the highest reaches of Skylands, where dragons engaged in aerial battles. Unlike the rest of his peers, Drobot wasn't as much into the aerial battles as he was getting things, taking them apart, seeing how they work, and putting them back together. Kind of a common thread you see in most of the tech element Skylanders. That said, one day he was out exploring and he came across some mysterious technology. Long story short, between finding the mysterious technology and what you see now, he apparently crafted and created this robot suit that you see. His eyes shoot laser beams. He's got the flight enhancement. I'm sure you remember that if you played Spyro's Adventure. Interesting note here, he has a vocal synthesizer. Kind of gives him a deep, booming voice. They've kind of tweaked that. If you go to Skylanders.com, click on Drobot, you'll see what I mean. And then he has the ability to shoot spinning gears. Essentially, since he had all this going for him, had the improved defense and attack capabilities, he decided to join the Skylanders and help protect all of Skylands. Drobot is probably easily, a fan favorite. He obviously came out really, really early in Skylanders Spyro's Adventure. Was popular then, stayed popular, and has remained popular. One of the closest battles we had in the first battle tournament was Drobot and Stealth Elf. But let me go ahead, we'll compare these two here. This really isn't a bad pose, particularly being from so early on in Skylanders Spyro's Adventure. But again, the green base indicates it's SSA. Again, I felt like this one was a pretty decent pose. You can kind of get a look at his back there. That'll come into play here in a second. But in the LightCore pose, Drobot will have a regular Series 2 pose. It's simply not released yet. That one will have the Wow Pow power. It's a shame they didn't give those to the LightCore characters. But, here's a look at the two Drobots. Again, Series 1 from Skylanders Spyro's Adventure, and then the Series 2 LightCore. The back, there you kind of see them contrasting. I'm sure you probably know why I'm showing you that. And if you don't, you're about to find out, because we're going to put him on the portal of power here. There we go. Yeah, that's it. I'm sure you've probably heard of this by now if you follow the Skylanders, but that's it. That is Drobot's LightCore. In my mind, I don't mean this, from like a gameplay perspective, but from an aesthetic, and particularly since he is LightCore, a light-up standard, that is extremely disappointing. I realize it kind of mimics what you see in the game, but there's so many possibilities with Drobot. Number one, the eyes would have been nice, since he does shoot lasers out of them. And if you recall, when you upgrade him, you actually start to shoot from the wings. In my opinion, the eyes and the wings, I know that would have required a little bit more work, but That would have been a much better option. As it is, all you get, the tail doesn't glow or anything. It's literally just what you see right there that gives you a look at the light. I don't know exactly how Hex or Shroom Boom or Chill is going to light up in their LightCore poses, but I am pretty sure this is going to be the worst one. Again, I know Drobot has a lot of fans. It's cool he got a LightCore pose, but I think anyone, particularly maybe the hardcore fans, will agree they kind of shortchanged him here, in my opinion. I know Eruptors is fairly basic, but it suits him. Prism Breaks is awesome. LightCore's is also very well executed, in my opinion. This, I mean, if you've got him facing you, you know, say you've got your TV over here, you generally, you know, put the Skylander down facing you, not like with his back wings to you or something. If you do that, you don't even know that it lights up. It's simply not bright enough. That said, I will go ahead, set him down here, and I'll actually start out with him facing the camera. I'll go kill the lights. We'll take a look at it that way. And like I said, there's just like a really faint glow. In fact, the camera is barely tall enough to see it. I'm obviously quite a bit taller than the camera, so I can see it. But I mean, if you have, say you had them on a coffee table or something for your kids, or that's the way you set your portal down or something, you don't even know it's on right now. It's glowing faintly off of the, you know, right wing. When I turn them around, however, you know, you get a pretty good glow. It kind of looks pink in the camera right now. It's actually like a very dull amber color, not near as bright as Eruptor. I tell you what, since I have Eruptor here, I'm going to go ahead and throw him on the portal. Okay. Obviously on the left side is LightCore Eruptor, the right side, LightCore Drobot. There's a ton more volume, in my opinion, coming out of Eruptor's mouth. I turned Drobot around, and you honestly can't even tell that he's lit up. It's really pretty sad, in my opinion. Not necessarily because it's horrible, but just because there is potential to do so much better. Yeah, I'm kind of hard on things like that. I'm one of the people, if you're going to do it, you ought to do it right. And I feel like this one comes up well short. That said, you know, here they are again. I'll go ahead and get Eruptor off the portal, but you know, in game he's going to be fine. He will have a flash bomb effect, but on the portal, I mean, less than, you know, captivating, if you will. We'll go ahead and turn it off. But again, that is LightCore Drobot. It is a decent pose. Obviously, you're a Drobot fan, you're going to pick it up regardless, but just the potential to do something cool was there, and I feel like that was just kind of a cop-out. You know, I realize it's probably cheaper and easier to do, but, you know, it's hard to, you know, keep a positive attitude on this one when it could have been so much better. That said, you know, like I was alluding to, in gameplay, he will have a flash bomb effect. Doesn't really matter at that point in time. $11.99 is retail for all the LightCore Drobot included. Again, this one came from ToysRUs.com. My personal impressions after kind of running around to the stores here for the last month, I have never been at any store that I haven't seen a LightCore Drobot. So as of right now, and probably before Black Friday, you can easily pick one up. Again, don't pay more than $11.99. It's simply not worth it. You can play this guy in Spyro's Adventure, but it'll kind of be just like a basic Drobot that you see in the background over there. Questions, comments, feel free to ask here on YouTube, or for a much quicker response, I suggest you follow the blog link at the top of the video description. You can follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook, circle me on Google+, whichever you prefer. As always, thanks for watching, and until then, blink and destroy.